I wanted to get something for President Trump from the duty-free before I left, so we'll have to keep this short.
Premier David Eby and all of his fellow premiers are on a charm offensive in Washington, D.C. It's unclear if they'll secure a face-to-face meeting with Donald Trump or his key advisors. But they do plan to meet with Republican and Democratic lawmakers, as well as business leaders, to try and warn them of the disastrous consequences of tariffs on both sides of the border. So far, that message has not been enough to stave off tariffs on all steel and aluminum entering the U.S., set to begin March 12th. Broader tariffs could begin even earlier on March 4th.
This trip is about sending the message that it's not just Canadian families we're standing up for here, it's American families as well. These tariffs, even just the tariffs announced today, are going to increase the cost of so many things for Americans, everything from cars to airplanes, and it doesn't have to be this way.
Canadian politicians have a few weeks to argue for exemptions. Still, the head of BC's Trade and Economic Security Task Force says the uncertainty is already hurting businesses.
We've been hearing from our over 5,000 members. Many of them are already reducing orders, seeing costs increase, and laying out scenarios for potential layoffs.
Canada's Minister for Internal Trade says the tariff threats have created a unified push to break down interprovincial trade barriers. They want to make it easier for goods, services, and skilled workers like doctors and nurses to move more easily across the country.
There is palpable momentum and enthusiasm from each and every jurisdiction to eliminate these barriers to trade so that we can add $200 billion to the Canadian economy without going through Donald Trump.
The Trump administration slapped tariffs on steel and aluminum in 2018, but later dropped them after Canada imposed tariffs of its own. Canada has held off on retaliatory measures so far, and with the premiers in Washington, the hope is that their diplomacy can stave off a trade war. Katie Derosa, CBC News, Victoria.